Tonight, one man is in police custody in connection with a weekend shooting that left a 21-year-old dead. Proponents of decriminalizing marijuana say reluctance to decriminalize the herb could be costing regional governments millions. Local farmers being encouraged to meet international standards, and steps being taken to ensure accountability and transparency in government-owned agencies. Good evening and thank you for joining us on this Monday's edition of the DBS News World. It is October 21st, 2013, and I am Onel Sanford Bell. One man is being held in police custody in connection with a Saturday morning shooting. St. Lucia police have identified the victim as 21-year-old Kenrick Vitalis of Babonneau. To begin our news coverage tonight, DBS's Cecil Actil tells us more.
The man who was shot in this area of Foligua has been identified as 21-year-old Kenrick Vitalis of Babonneau. The circumstances surrounding the incident are unclear. However, on Saturday, in the wee hours of the morning, Vitalis was reportedly walking through this area when he was shot. He later collapsed some distance away in Wilton's yard. He succumbed to his injuries at a Victoria hospital.
Officers attached to the Criminal Investigations Department responded to report and as a result proceeded to Foligua catch trees. On arrival, they received information that 21-year-old Kenrick Vitalis of Foasso Babonneau was in the vicinity of Foligua when he sustained a gunshot wound to the chest area and later collapsed at Wilton's yard catch trees.
Police responded to the scene at around 2:50 a.m. One man is being held for the apparent murder.
He was transported to Victoria Hospital via ambulance where he was treated and admitted in a critical condition. Vitalis subsequently succumbed to his injuries whilst admitted at the state hospital. One person is currently in police custody assisting with investigations.
According to reports, Vitalis was shot in the chest. This latest incident takes the number of homicides so far for the year to 27. Reporting for the DBS News World, I am Cecil Actil.
Sustainable development and environmental authorities here are moving to enact biosafety legislation on the island. This is important in order to benefit fully from biotechnology and be able to commercialize products. Countries are required by international protocol to develop international policies, laws and other instruments to address safety of the environment and human health with regard to the use of biotechnology. DBS's Don Nicholas has more.
Authorities met to review biosafety legislation. According to officials, there is no legislation in place that governs the development of genetically modified organisms. Today's consultative exercise brought together fishers, farmers and other stakeholders in order to fine-tune the draft legislation. In fact, advertisements have gone out inviting all St. Lucians to give their input.
Today, the unit is holding a national consultation to review the biosafety legislation. Currently, St. Lucia does not have any provisions for regulating genetically modified organisms. It might be that they are already on island, it might be that we are consuming them, but we don't have any legal force to allow us to regulate them. So what we need to do is to have a law, and what we're doing now today is to review that law. We've gotten all the stakeholders on board. We have the Ministry of Agriculture, Health, Finance, Commerce, we have members from the Ministry of Education, we have farmers on board, we have fishers, we have retailers, supermarkets, educators, anybody who is interested in the production of food, the sale of food, educating about food, anybody who eats food or grows food is here today and is giving their feedback on the law.
At this morning's meeting, health and safety concerns were also addressed. In addition to that, officials looked at environmental concerns.
We can only make a strong law if we have everybody's feedback. So we wanted all St. Lucians to get involved and tell us what they think, tell us what risk they think St. Lucians can take, what risk they are absolutely against. And unfortunately, we did not have as large a turnout as we would have liked, But it's not too late. People can still get involved. They can still call us. They can visit us at our office in the Caribbean Cinemas. They can go online. They can send us emails. They can visit the Government of St. Lucia website and read the policy and the law for themselves, and then give us feedback on what they think should be added in there or what concerns they have.
Authorities hope to submit the document to Cabinet by the end of November. For the DBS News World, I am Don Nicholas reporting.
The Office of the Prime Minister is moving to ensure that accountability and transparency prevail in the local parastatal sector. DBS's Alex Bousquet has that story.
Parastatal sectors are government-run institutions. Government officials say over the years they realized that accountability and transparency in these organizations have been lacking. And this morning's meeting, which took place at the Bay Gardens Hotel, was designed to address that. In fact, authorities say they are committed to improving the situation in St. Lucia.
A one-day workshop, and hopefully it will be, the tone will be set by the Prime Minister when he will iron out his own vision for the management of parastatal organizations in St. Lucia.
To this end, a parastatal department was created within the Prime Minister's office for the purpose of achieving goals and objectives relating to the sector in a timely manner. And officials want to ensure that these objectives are implemented.
Some of the main items, we have a cataract consultant, and like we said, it's about improving performance, it's about accountability. So through legislation, parastatals are required to submit annual reports. They are required to submit annual audited financial statements. We find these responsibilities to some extent are not being properly fulfilled. So we want to strengthen even governance within the parastatal sector.
Governmental authorities are hoping that at the end of the day, good governance in the parastatal sectors will prevail. For the DBS News World, Alex Bousquet reporting.
St. Lucia is part of a team of regional officials, including 18 participating fisheries administrations and organizations in the Caribbean, meeting in the Bahamas this week for a week of events that will review the progress of the ACP Fish 2 program and chart a future course that will build on its successes to date. Since the inception of the ACP Fish 2 program in June of 2009, Caribbean countries have benefited from close to €3 million allocated for 32 national and regional fisheries and aquaculture projects. To date, 18 of these projects have been completed, while the remaining 14 projects are at various levels of development or close to being completed. The first of the 3 events will be the 4th and final ACP Fish 2 program regional monitoring workshop being held in Nassau from Monday to Wednesday. At this workshop, the Caribbean projects implemented under ACP Fish 2 will be reviewed. There will also be an assessment of the outcomes and impacts of the implemented projects, after which a discussion on the way forward will ensue. This workshop will be followed by the 6th meeting of the steering committee of the ACP Fish 2 program to be held on Thursday. The week of activities culminates on Friday with a roundtable discussion to be hosted by the CARICOM Secretariat. And from that report to Street Vibes, here is tonight's presentation.
Hi, I'm Alex Bousquet. Once again, you're watching Street Vibes. Today, the people speak to an open mic.
Drivers in St. Lucia, they're selfish. The same way they think, the same way they're living selfish. They driving selfish. Because what I'm saying, at intersections, where you see the 2 drivers, we're not going same direction. You're going a different direction from me. I'm looking to go straight, you're looking to go left turn. The driver that looking, they always like to block the intersection. We're not going the same direction. Why are you all blocking the intersection? We're not supposed to do that. And St. Lucia, the St. Lucian government, they should do that. Transport board, they all should listen. Hear me out. Put yellow X's in all intersections. Square boxes, yellow X's in all intersections, and put a sign. So any vehicle that find themselves blocking that intersection, give them a $250 ticket. That's so easy to do. We want that. Because St. Lucians are too selfish. The drivers, they're too selfish in St. Lucia. I have a problem with that.
And I'm just here to tell you that November 16th is all about Saving Souls, the concert, encouraging the community, the nation, everybody to come out and support the event and come and see and experience one of a difference. Right? Glory be to God and to everybody in the nation.
Too much violence happening every day.
You go like that?
Thank you.
Thank you. We've just been watching Street Vibes with me, Alex Kuske, down at the Aquarius Crossing, the intersection of Coral and St. Louis Streets. With that being said, we're taking you right back to our studio. Boom.
You're watching St. Lucia's News Leader and listening to us on Rhythm FM 95.5. We're also online and on the big screen at the Aquarius Crossing in downtown Castries. Still to come in the DBS News World, fresh arguments being offered for the decriminalization of marijuana. Local farmers being encouraged to meet international production standards, and a local medical school receives regional accreditation. The details of these and other stories are ahead. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with the broadcast. In more news, regional governments might lose out on the economic benefits that could be derived from the commercial production of marijuana due to the reluctance of the government to decriminalize its use. That assertion was made by the head of the Decriminalized Cannabis Group of Trinidad and Tobago and is getting support from the local cannabis movement. DBS's Cecil Actil reports.
A document was submitted to the government 15 years ago proposing more research into the establishment of an agriculture hemp industry here. The founder of the Hemp Industrial Initiative says that after lobbying for years, he has not received a word from government. Trinidad and Tobago is involved in several discussions about using hemp to boost its economy.
There's a lot to be said, and I think it's unfortunate that we're going to again wait for other people to begin. But once you do that, you're no longer first at the post, and you've lost it. So we had a chance to be pioneers, and we used that exact phrasing a decade and a half ago, that when next will we ever get a chance to be pioneers? Here's a chance, let's get on with it.
Just last week, the head of the Decriminalized Cannabis Group of Trinidad and Tobago said the region might lose out on the economic benefits that could be derived from the commercial production of marijuana due to the reluctance of the government to decriminalize its use. Mr. Bain says that there are various benefits from the plant which can also generate and sustain employment.
Nobody's taking charge of anything. You've got to take charge. You know, what is going on? Are there other things we're doing? Are we growing broccoli or cabbage or pineapple successfully? No. Is there a market for hemp? There's a massive market. All the fear about what people will do, would they come here? All these fears are completely, there's absolutely no need for such fears. It's completely misplaced. The fear we should have is what will happen if we have nothing.
DeCaris, who is also a member of the initiative, wants the island to continue discussion on the economic benefits of the plant. Mr. DeCaris has high hopes that the government will see the plant for its positive benefits.
The discourse that Barbados and Trinidad are having is at a level that is so much higher than ours. It's embarrassing since, for me especially, since we've been educating the St. Lucian public for 15 years, and then we see countries who have only just started the conversation having that level of discourse. It's very embarrassing for us as St. Lucians. And our government isn't even speaking about it. Yet the Barbados government, the Trinidadian government is speaking about hemp boosting their economy.
The Hemp Industrial Initiative says that hemp is not pot and is an economic stimulus. Reporting for the DBS News World, I am Cecil Actil.
Thank you, Cecil. The St. Lucia Bureau of Standards met with farmers to discuss the development of international standards for the sector. Here is DBS's Don Nicholas with more on that meeting.
The St. Lucia Bureau of Standards met with farmers, including livestock and aquaculture farmers. The Bureau spoke with the farmers about developing international standards for the sector. This is coming at a time when world trade liberalization is showing little preference for small island states, and in order to remain competitive, local farmers must meet international standards.
The Bureau of Standards continues with the implementation of our program for World Standards Month. We have already conducted quite a number of activities that have been successful. The national consultations for the development of standards for the agricultural sector saw the Bureau having these consultations with farmers both in the north and the south of the island. We had tremendous participation, which we are grateful for. Having completed these national consultations, we're hoping that by the end of November we would have approximately 6 to 7 new industry standards for the agriculture sector.
Officials say the response to the Bureau of Standards initiative was phenomenal.
We're looking at the development of a code of good agricultural practices.
The activity was undertaken as part of activities to mark World Standards Month. For the DBS News World, I am Don Nicholas reporting.
The Ministry of Commerce convened a training program for persons who will oversee the functioning of a recently established Business Development Center. Here is DBS's Don Nicholas with that report.
Today, a number of stakeholders came together to discuss the operation of a recently established Business Development Center. The center is designed to attend to the needs of small business people. The functions of the center also came in for specialized attention, and function proposals were also discussed to allow stakeholders to articulate their ideas on how the center should be managed.
What we have is a continuation of a training process that we have for implementation of a small business development center in St. Lucia. That process started about 2 years ago. We've gone through the main island-wide consultation and the certificate training. And right now we're looking at getting the main stakeholders into really cementing the small business center the way forward and bringing that whole process to fruition as to really establishing a small development center in St. Lucia.
The center is housed at the Small Enterprise Development Unit of the Ministry of Commerce. Officials say it is already up and running.
As to whether there's a time of opening, our proposal is that we have the Small Enterprise Development Unit already, which is established under statute, under law, and we're proposing to use it as a small development center with all the other aspects, just really tightening our establishments with the other business stakeholders, such as Bell Fund and TIPA and Development Bank.
CEDU has already collaborated with the National Research Development Foundation and other stakeholders to establish synergies among the related agencies and thus provide a more efficient service to local entrepreneurs. For the DBS News World, I am Don Nicholas reporting.
A Babonneau man is calling on the authorities for help tonight. Keith Baptiste says neighbors just won't stop throwing feces in his yard and on his house. Here is DBS's Alex Bousquet with that report.
Keith Baptiste of Lacroix Shobo Babonneau is at his wit's end. He says neighbors have been throwing excrement in his yard. He says this morning's incident was the last straw. According to Baptiste, when he woke up this morning, he almost hit the roof when he found a bag of excrement on his house.
This morning I get up and I look on my top of my roof, which is a concrete roof, realizing there's a bag. When I open the bag, I realized there was shit inside of the bag, and I'm very frustrated, and I want the authorities to do something about it. I'm frustrated about it.
Baptiste says initially the relationship with his neighbors was good, but somewhere down the line, according to him, the relationship deteriorated.
The only thing I could recall was last Sunday it was, I think they had a little trouble there. My little boy, came and peep. Children already, they came and peep, and, one of them just tell him what he's looking at, what do he want? So I came outside and I started to quarrel because it's only a child doesn't know anything.
Baptiste says he has reported the matter to the police and has also been to health authorities. For the DBS News World, Alex Bousquet reporting.
Thank you so much, Alex. When the DBS News World continues in this joint transmission with Rhythm FM 95.5, Mabuya Valley crowned debating champions, and the search is on for the next big thing in gospel music. Stay with us. The details are coming up right after this break. Welcome back to the DBS News World. I'm O'Neill Sanford Bell. The Castries City Hall was transformed this past weekend as the search began for the 5 best gospel singers on the island. The 5 singers selected will perform at a major concert dubbed Saving Souls, slated to take place here. DBS's Cecil Actil reports.
The audition at the Castries City Hall is being hailed a success despite the low turnout. The audition was organized by the Committee for Good Movement, a faith-based group which is seeking talented gospel singers. The ones chosen will perform alongside well-known gospel singer Vashon Mitchell. The concert is slated for November 16th at the Pigeon Island National Landmark.
Basically, it's just to get a feedback of some of the underground gospel talent that we have in the country, and also give them the opportunity to have a chance to perform on stage with Vashon Mitchell as well on November 16th, Saving Souls concert.
A small crowd showed up to witness the selection process, and it was time for the locals to shine. Among them was Calypsonian Nintus.
Guilty, Christians we guilty, for aggravated profanity against the Almighty. They're guilty. With problems, get rid of themselves. Violated young man, jealousy they wanna bring. Because they didn't have the wild and learning anything. Was the most wonders to see them begging. Blood sacrifices, accidents happening. United we serve, division they wanna bring.
5 talented gospel singers will be selected at the end of the auditions. Those who participated this Saturday expressed their thoughts.
Hopefully, I'll participate. Anytime there's an opportunity to give praise, that is going to show our reasonable service, and of course, an opportunity to impact another person and inspire them to find a way. I'm always excited about it. It is for the young people, it's for St. Lucia. We have so much of the other side of life. So why not have a lot more of the gospel?
It's also for a good purpose, for saving souls.
The final round for the search for gospel singers will take place this Saturday at the Castries City Hall. Reporting for the DBS News World, I am Cecil Actil.
A new Lawen Creole was crowned over the weekend. The competition saw 6 talented ladies competing for the coveted title in one of the most anticipated events of the Creole Heritage Month calendar. DBS's Alex Bousquet has more.
The lady of the moment, Federica Senqua of La Clery, she emerged winner of the Lawen Creole pageant held over the weekend. Senqua says her children and her neighbors were her sources of inspiration.
I find it was amazing, and it was really, I didn't expect to win the crown, but at the same time, I'm very happy, I'm pleased, and I want to thank my kids that encouraged me a lot, my neighbors, and everybody that supported me and came here today to see that I place. But people was telling me I would, place, but I didn't want to believe it.
Folk Research Center officials were elated about the pageant, describing it as fantastic. Now they are calling for more publicity to be given to the pageant, even if it means going to the schools and offering tickets for the show. However, there are more activities in store for this month, which has been designated Creole Heritage Month.
We have another show coming up on the 23rd. That's the night of Creole poetry, storytelling, and we have a foreign artist called Joby Benabi from Martinique will be headlining that show. And as usual, there'll be competition around our Creole speakers in poetry, and we're hoping to be a very good show. It's free. It's been held in conjunction with the Alliance Française at the Pyramid, and we're asking persons to come across and to participate in that program.
The big day falls on October 27th, which is designated International Creole Day. For the DBS News World, Alex Bousquet reporting.
Spartan Health Sciences University, presently accredited by the St. Lucia Medical School's Monitoring and Accreditation Committee, has now been accredited by the Caribbean Accreditation Authority for Education in Medicine and Other Health Professions. The university is the first medical school on island to be accredited by the Caribbean Accreditation Authority for Education in Medicine and Other Health Professions. The medical school was inspected by the Caribbean Medical Accrediting Body in May of this this year. Dean of the university, Dr. Garamarty, said the university decided to get the Caribbean accreditation as part of its effort to maintain a high standard of medical education at the institution. The accreditation process assures that medical, dental, veterinary and other health profession schools meet standards of structure, function and performance. On the lighter side tonight, domestic chicken owners in the UK are helping their pets stay safe with bright pink and yellow reflective jackets. Why did the chicken cross the road? Well, at least they'll get to the other side safely in these snazzy jackets. Unfortunately, we don't have the picture to show you, but domestic chicken owners are cladding their pet hens and roosters in high visibility bibs to help them safe, or keep them safe as the darker nights draw in this autumn. The bright pink or yellow items of clothing are designed to alert motorists and others to keep the birds safe in the busy urban and suburban areas they live in. The high-vis chicken jackets are being produced by Omelette, who also manufacture fashionable chicken coops to cater for the rise in the amount of chickens being kept as pets in the United Kingdom. Now that's the lighter side. Brian Calix is next with sports. Please stay with us.